I'm 33, going on 34 this year, and I feel like I'm just now starting my adulting phase. It's been a wild 2023 so far, and I'm always looking back just to look forward, be very grateful for what I've done to get to where I'm at today. But I always wonder if I were to change things, or if I knew what I knew now back then, what would I do differently? I've learned so much in the past 13 years, and I also unlearned a lot of things. And caveat here is that I was lucky enough to grow up without social media. It really wasn't until I was 23, 24 that social media really started to have an impact on society. I was able to grow up without that huge distraction. So let's get into what I wish I knew in my 20s. Do not get into a serious relationship, or at least marriage and kids and all that, till you're about 27. It's unfortunate in our society right now, particularly in the West, having a kid really early can really throw your life in for a loop. So we do have to have kids later, just because we need to be in a much more comfortable situation. And science says that your brain isn't fully developed until you're about 27 anyway. At that age, you probably don't even know what you really want. It's fine to date. I mean, we all need somebody and some closeness. At the end of the day, it's good not to take it too serious, move in together, get married, have kids, till after that mark where you truly know what you want, being patient and conscious of the decision we're making when we're getting married. Get flexible really early in your life. As you age, it does get a bit harder. Get really hard to stay flexible. Your time gets lessened as you age, right? More responsibility, kids, you have other things to attend to. You have a really difficult job that requires many hours. If you get your flexibility done early, you don't have to spend as much time later in life. And it also helps you prevent injury. I also recommend you get your nutrition in order, because early on you can figure out what foods give you strength and which ones really zap your strength. It's good to be conscious of what these foods are. As you age, when you're younger, you're like Superman. You can eat crap, drink all night, wake up the next day, go to work on an hour of sleep. I used to do it all the time. Yeah, I felt like poop. I was able to make it through, but I noticed that it's like a magical age of 30. I hit 30 and I noticed I couldn't do that anymore. And it's partially why I stopped drinking. You can watch that video here on why I stopped drinking, but after I hit 30, it just wasn't viable anymore. I'd also recommend, especially if you're in your early 20s, to read these books. This is a relatively long list, so all the books will be linked below via Amazon. First, you want to start with The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And this is a great book for understanding how to seek out your purpose. Another great book on just life lessons in general and how to navigate life, 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mortals. It's not a time management book, it's really a philosophy book. The Way of the Superior Man, specifically for men. Ladies, I highly recommend you read it if there's men in your life that you truly love. Understanding your own masculinity, differences and polarities between masculine and feminine energies in relationship with your partner, your friends, your family, your community, and with yourself. Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday will be helpful for mindset and stoicism. Body Keeps the Score is to really understand your psychology and how it relates to your biology and how the two are actually connected. Mastery. This is a great book by Robert Greene. Find your purpose and how to navigate that if you're unsure. Genius Foods, I think it's a great overall book on health. Max Lugavere is a health influencer, but what I like about him is that he's a no BS kind of guy. He did a lot of the research because of his mother having Alzheimer's and trying to figure out what caused it. So the fact that he took that and made a book utilizing his own research, unbiased, not getting paid by some big pharma company or big food company, still lives up to this day, which a lot of nutrition books end up, once the fat is gone, a lot of the data and statistics are not relative. War of Art, for all you creatives out there, even if you don't believe you're a creative person, you are. I'm pretty sure you work some kind of day job that requires some kind of creativity. Life is a creative act in itself. It's a quick read. You can read it in one day to help you navigate creativity. The Hunter's Gatherer's Guide to the 21st Century is really a great book in understanding biology in general, how it affects our mindset, how it affects society as a whole. Sapiens is basically human history. Highly recommend for you to have a better understanding of where we come from and how we got to where we are today. The Molecule More is just understanding free will and how it really doesn't exist. We are pretty much controlled by the hormones and the biology within us. If we have a great understanding of that, at least we can logically make decisions that aren't emotional and more based around logic. Nonviolent Communication, I mean, it's just the Bible for communication. It's a great book to to understanding how to communicate in relationship with others. And I say just start there. I know that's a long list of books. These are the books that have helped me navigate this crazy world and be calm in the storms and changes of the world, which I feel like it's almost by the hour there's something happening. This is probably going to be controversial for a lot of people, but forgive your parents for everything. Yes, that sounds much harder. Even if you had a great life, there were probably things that your parents did. They weren't perfect. No parent is perfect. Really difficult job. But I recommend doing this, working with a professional if you absolutely must, to get through this process, to know what it means to forgive. Because even if they're not alive or you don't talk to your specific parents, you don't even know where they're at, it's good to internally go through that forgiveness process to allow you to move forward in your life. After forgiving them, I felt more love for them, more understanding, more compassion of where they were at in their life. I mean, my parents aren't perfect. I disagree with a lot of things they do, but I know that they did the best that they could with what they had. I love them deeply, and that's all because I went through my own process, forgave them for everything they did and didn't do when I was growing up, and things they provided me with and things that they didn't provide me with. And knowing that I'm my own human and I can move forward understanding that they are also imperfect humans. Do the thing, say yes to that thing, and not know what's going to happen. I did that when I went to China. I did not know what was going to happen. I said yes to it. I got the offer, got the opportunity. I was like, how many people get this opportunity to teach English in China in not a major city, living in a completely different location? That's just once in a lifetime opportunity. So I said yes, dropped everything and went. And there was a lot of mistakes that came from that. I learned a lot about myself and what I like and don't like. And I was humbled by that experience to the point that now, as a Western kind of spoiled person growing up in the democracy of America, I have become more grateful. But I always say the reason why you make these mistakes is because you may think you know what you want, but as you age, you be like, actually, if it seems exciting, say yes and do it. You're still young. You still have time. Learn how to negotiate. It's a must-have skill in today's society where everyone's trying to sell you something. Everyone's always selling something. So it's good to negotiate, whether you're getting a car, which is something I didn't do when I bought a car. I did not negotiate, ended up in a really bad situation. That's neither here or there. I learned my lesson. Great. Next time I get a car, negotiation skill is going to be on full blast. Speaking about negotiation and sales, you should learn sales. It seems that if you have the skill of sales, you can just pump money out of your butt all day, every day. Everyone does sales. Whether you're selling a product, whether you're selling an idea, when you're going for a new job interview, your resume, your interviews, all of that is selling, selling, selling. Your job may be selling an idea to a person, may be selling a specific opinion. Why do you think politicians are so good? They're great at sales. Sales is like a foundational skill to have. Learn it early. Another thing is build a community, especially outside of where you're comfortable. If you're currently in college, away, you join a frat or you join a sorority, you have your friends there. That's your core group. But learn how to find friends outside of that. Learn how to build friendships from scratch, because you never know. What if you get a job and you have to move to a different country or a different state, and it's a job that you really love and you really want to do, but you have to leave everything you know? If you have the skill of building community early on, it'd be no problem for you to up and go and build a new community somewhere else. And last but not least, it's my favorite and something I'm still working through, is to learn patience. Life may suck in many ways in your early 20s, whether that's through a relationship, whether your career, your school. It's just gonna suck. Things are not gonna go your way. Guess what? It's all gonna be okay. Things may seem unknown in the future, especially with the comforts of college, of living at home, and then you graduate college and you leave home and you're in the unknown of the world, and it's a completely different learning experience. But as long as you're moving, you're growing, you're continuously working towards something, you have a purpose. Whether you follow the path of God, who provides you with your purpose, or you're following your own purpose, whatever works for you, just know that you'll end up in the place you are meant to be. And there you have it. Just 10 things I wish I knew in my 20s that may help you if you're in your 20s. I don't know why I'm holding a plant. I have much more on the list, but hey, this video would have been forever long. So I'd say, what do you agree with? Or maybe not agree. If you're in your 30s or 40s, what would you say to your 20-year-old? So comment all that below. Share with someone you know that's in their 20s, your daughter, your sister, your cousin, whatever, to help them navigate their own journey in their 20s.